Hello, everyone. Here we are. This is like part two of the Polyglot interview, and I'm really excited to be here with my friend D'Angelo. Say
Yes,
hello to
sir.
the audience, bro.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Yo, if you haven't watched part one, this is part two. Make sure you go and check part one in his channel. The link's gonna be here in the description, so you can. If you haven't watched part one, go there, watch it before you watch this one, because here we're gonna cover different things, right? I want to
Hmm.
ask D'Angelo, as he is an American who came
Yeah,
to Brazil, and I want to ask him about what he thought about Brazil. Our culture, our language. So I think that would be really interesting interview.
hmm,
And again, if you haven't watched part one, make sure you check out description. So without further ado, D'Angelo, I'm gonna ask you to introduce yourself because in the first one, it was a lot. You asked a lot of questions to me, so I also want to ask you some questions today, like and make it more focused on your point of view on things, because I think you have a lot to share with everyone.
yeah, definitely, no problem, no problem. Cool. So my name is D'Angelo. I'm 23 years old. I'm from the U.S. I love languages. I like learning them. I speak several languages. I'm sure we'll get to cover which ones and things like that later on in the video. For right now, I do live in France. I'm studying over there. I study international relations, and yeah, I'm just interested in sharing what I know, helping people learn just everything they can about learning languages, giving tips, and just communicating and feeling more comfortable in languages.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Thank you for accepting, doing this video with me too. Because I think you have a lot to share. Like I said, I think we've been friends for a long time. Like
Yeah.
we also said in the part one.
Uh-huh.
And it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. And this for me is I think I'm doing this video more for me than for anyone
Hmm.
else, because it's always good to talk to you and chat and
Yeah,
talk
bro. No
about
problem.
languages, man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely is always good talking with you, bro.
So now I want to ask you. Now you can say the languages that you speak, because I think we're all interested in knowing more about the languages you speak. We talked a little bit about in those languages in the first one, but I didn't really ask you your experience with those languages. So I'm going to ask you like two questions. Tell us, please, what are the languages that you can speak, and also your experience with them, like your level and stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and now I'm pretty much focusing on Swahili. So with French, I've been learning French for around 3 years now. That was something that was like a big task for me because pretty much a few years back when I first started learning, I had told myself like, if I learn French and I'm able to communicate at least decently, I'm gonna go to France and just visit and just see how things are out there. And what I'm saying, I completed that task for myself. Not too long after, maybe a year after. So this would be 2 years. I got accepted into a French university and where I had spent the last year going to school. So Spanish, I had learned that maybe a year after I started French. I was like, pretty much, well, I learned French. Why not try on Spanish? So with Spanish, there's a lot of Hispanic people here in America, and I always have contact with them, but I never really knew any Spanish. I took like maybe a semester or two in the high school, but that's not you're not really learning languages in school. You're not learning to communicate or talk to anybody in anything meaningful. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that was about 2020. I want to say 2020 or 2021 that I started learning Spanish. And so my next one was Portuguese, and that was kind of funny because Portuguese came up. Really never had any intention on learning, but it quickly became like one of my favorite languages, and saying everything tied to Portuguese, like Brazilian culture, food, the people, especially saying dances and everything like that. Yeah, because I was really pretty much trying to help a friend who was learning French and to communicate better. I was like, I'm gonna try to learn some Portuguese phrases, and I just really fell in love with the language. So that was that one, and now most recently I'm learning Swahili. It's a Bantu language that's spoken primarily in East Africa, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Kenya, parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and if I'm not mistaken, a little bit up north. but for that the country escaped my name right now. But that's the languages that I speak. And the first three, the French, Spanish, and Portuguese, I'd say I'm very conversational, and Swahili a little bit less so because I had just started learning it to a conversational level.
Bro, that's really cool. You touched a lot of interesting points there when you talked about the traditional ways of teaching in school.
Hmm.
I definitely agree with you. Like it's most of the traditional, like the traditional way of teaching
Hmm.
in institutions is more like not very practical, right? Like you said, it's definitely more like a lot of theory, a lot of structures,
Hmm.
but not enough, in my opinion too. Like I agree with you. Not
Hmm.
enough practice, not enough conversation, real
Exactly.
life engagement, right? I want to talk to you about Swahili because I haven't learned an African language yet,
Hmm.
but I definitely want to, and I
Yeah.
want you to know like your impressions on Swahili. What do you like the most about it? What is kind of difficult or over the challenges you had with Swahili?
If you're English native English speaker or have had any contact with any Romance languages, you'll see a lot of cognates. A lot of words that are shared between the both, and that's why I feel like we have that advantage in Romance languages. So there's a lot of crossover between the languages. And the first thing I noticed about Swahili, it was none of that. There's not that much influence from, I'm saying, English or any Romance language, for example. There are a couple words here and there that do show themselves, but nothing significant where you can be like, oh, I've seen that word before. Oh, I can just guess what that means. So that's something that you really have to know it. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to know it by heart. um, the way they do plurals. Like for example, in English, we put a S on things to make it plural. Like bikes, doors. Portuguese, saying you know how plurals work in
Mm.
Romance languages and this and that. But there, it's like you put the plural in the beginning of the word.
Oh,
Yeah. So if you want to say, for example, friend is Rafiki, and if you want to say friends, plural, it would be marafiki. So you put the
oh,
plural. And it's just like any new language, you gotta get used to it. I'm sure in a few maybe months or years when I'm getting used to it, I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But it was just because of the repetition that I had with the language.
got you, bro. Like
Yeah,
this is really cool. Like this thing about the it's like so like to put it in the plural, it comes before the not at the end of the word. That is really cool.
exactly.
I've never
Yeah.
seen anything like that, like in any language. Definitely, it's very
Hmm.
unique,
Yes,
and
sir.
I really like that, bro. Like I definitely will learn more African languages in
Hmm.
plural because I want to learn, bro. So many languages, man. Like
Yeah.
you know how it is. So it's
Oh, yeah.
hard to just like start like
Yeah.
learning a new one because like to me, I always make long goals. Like I always make
Uh-huh.
big ones because like if I don't do that I get caught up in like, oh, I want to try Swahili, oh, I want to try Chinese.
Yeah. I mean, I get you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, for me personally, a reason why I did start on Swahili, it being that I feel like African languages as a whole are neglected.
Mm,
We everybody wants to learn Spanish. Everybody wants to learn French. I'm not saying everybody wants to learn Russian, but it's definitely more popular than Swahili.
definitely, absolutely.
So I just wanted to give some African languages love. You know what I'm saying? So Swahili is definitely one that I'm learning that because it's spoken by over 100 million people. If you didn't know that in Africa, especially in maybe it's not their first language, but even as a second language, because many don't claim that it's their first language, it's like their second language, but they grew up speaking it at the same time. But it's definitely one of those languages where it's going to be important in the near future. And I feel like it'll help unify various countries in Africa where they're maybe divided in Francophone Africa or English speaking Africa or Portuguese speaking Africa. So that could definitely be a language to help unify the continent as a whole.
Bro, that's really cool,
Yeah.
man. You're making me want to just start learning Swahili
Hey, bro, come
right
on, man.
now.
Hey, that'll be another language we get to practice.
I want to ask you about Brazil. So you came here and you stayed for how long did you stay here, bro?
The first time I stayed, I think it was like 15 days. And the second time, it was around the same time, about 14, 15
uh,
days. Yeah,
uh,
it was nice, bro. It was nice. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it, though. Um,
where have you been? Like you have been in Copacabana, right?
I had my Airbnb right in front of the beach, Copacabana. I had it there in Copacabana. I felt like that was like more touristy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say that isn't the real Brazil. I feel like you would have to go more interior where, because it was a lot of tourists there. I was seeing as many tourists as I would see Brazilians there. You know what I'm saying? So I did go, up more in the interior of the country, like what do you call it? The interior of
Mhm.
like, Rio, and just to see, different people around there, and just experience cultures, and talk to actual regular Brazilians. You know what I'm saying? So I've been there. Then I've been to Bahia. I spent about 3 or 4 days in Pelourinho. I went
Mhm.
there. I saw the Olidon play. That was pretty cool. I had got like the bracelets that they
Yeah,
tie
yeah.
around you and stuff. So I had got those too, and just a whole lot of necklaces, and it was just so beautiful, bro. It was so beautiful. I learned so much about that place. And Sergipe. I've been there.
Of course, it has pros and cons. Like,
Yeah,
of
definitely.
course, like you get what I mean. Like, I don't mean
Yeah.
to,
Oh yeah, definitely.
start a war.
It's definitely a lot of more good than bad. I wouldn't say I had any really bad experiences while I was out there. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It was lovely. Like it was honestly like my favorite trip that I've ever taken. That's why I went back twice. So it was a great time. It was a great time. I love being out there, bro.
A gente pode falar um pouco em português?
Pode, pode.
Beleza. Cara, deixa eu te perguntar. Você tem praticado o português aí? O que que você tem feito para manter seu português?
Então, tipo, tá falando tipo português do Brasil?
É, o que
Ou
que você tem feito para manter o seu nível?
então fazendo coisa assim, sabe? Tipo, eu tenho vários amigos que eu falo, tipo, quase todo dia com eles. Se não, eu tô assistindo conteúdo no YouTube. E realmente eu assisti essa cara, se chama Miguel de Biel. Você conhece?
Ah, sei quem é,
É o
sei.
mais diz ele, cara, é foda. Eu
Muito bom.
eu gosto muito assistindo eles. Também eu tenho livros que eu assisti, um livro que você me deu, a arte de fazer, né?
Aham,
Então,
sim.
eu leio esse livro quase todos os dias, quase terminando. Também, sei lá, eu estudo, sabe? Na minha faculdade eu tenho uma aula, realmente é coisa básica, mas eu tô aí aprendendo as conjugações e esse tipo de coisa. Mas esses são tipo de coisa que eu tô fazendo para, tipo, manter meu nível, sabe?
Cara, eu te perguntar, por que que você
Fala.
começou a aprender português?
Onde?
É, por que que você
Ah,
começou a aprender
porque,
português?
olha,
Ou, tipo, o que te motivou? Ou, assim, sei
então,
lá, como que você fez pra começar? Diz aí.
ah, carai. Então, já é quase 2 anos, né, que eu estou aprendendo, 2 anos. Principalmente eu aprendi para ajudar uma amiga e depois disso eu descobri algumas coisas sobre o Brasil, a cultura, sabe? Tipo, vai soar um pouco burro, mas eu não sabia que no Brasil vocês falam, tipo, o português, sabe? Eu não sabia isso.
Sim.
Então, quando eu aprendi isso, sei lá, e eu tava assistindo vídeos, eu tava ouvindo o som desse idioma, sabe? O sotaque carioca, como vocês falam, o jeito que vocês são, sei lá, me deu muita vontade de continuar. Então, eu tava só, quase todo dia, eu tava assistindo alguma coisa no YouTube. A primeira filme que eu assisti no português era Cidade de Deus,
Pô,
sabe?
ótimo.
Essa é um
Melhor
clássico, né?
filme.
É, é foda, realmente. E eu tava tipo, nossa, é muito legal esse filme, sabe? E eu não sabia que isso, tipo, era uma, sei lá, um reflexo, sei lá, uma reflection como são as coisas no Brasil, sabe? Eu sei que não é por todo mundo, mas, tipo, acontece assim, sabe? E,
Uhum.
sei lá, eu, nesse idioma eu vejo muitos similaridades, como se chama? Ah,
Similaridades, é.
similaridades,
Similarities, é.
desculpa, similaridades do inglês, o inglês que eu falo, sabe, com o meu povo, e o português que vocês falam, tipo, com seus amigos, sabe? Então, isso é porque eu acho que eu sinto uma conexão com esse idioma, entendeu? Então, a cultura, conteúdo no YouTube, as pessoas, sabe? Vocês são muito bem-vindos e, sei lá, eu gosto do jeito de vocês.
É, assim, eu fico muito feliz. É legal a gente ouvir, né? Porque às vezes a gente escuta coisas muito difíceis sobre o Brasil, né? Coisas,
Uhum,
muitas vezes notícias ruins ou coisas que são negativas, mas tem coisa boa pra caramba no Brasil
claro,
também, muita
claro.
cultura. As pessoas são muito amigáveis, são
Uhum,
pessoas que são abertas assim e no geral são pessoas que gostam de conhecer novas pessoas e tratam as
uhum.
pessoas bem.
É,
Então,
claro, porque existe em todo mundo, sabe? Tipo, eu vejo nos Estados Unidos e eu sei que existe muita pessoa que não são fã dos Estados Unidos, entendeu? A gente
uhum,
tem eu acho pessoalmente, eu gosto de pensar assim, sabe? Tipo, a gente nasce a nosso país, entendeu? Sabe? Tipo, o jeito que todo mundo pensa aqui não é como pessoalmente eu penso, ou as pessoas ao redor de mim não pensam. Então, tipo, às vezes pode dizer, tipo assim, tem que diferenciar a pessoa de país, porque. Mas eu tenho muito no meu país. Claro que sim, a gente faz, tipo, a besteira, mas também tem um monte de coisa boa nesse país
com
também,
certeza.
sabe? Então,
Com
é
certeza.
isso.
É o que você falou. Aquilo que você falou é perfeito. A gente não é o país. Tipo,
É,
você não. Tipo, vai ter pessoas boas, vai ter pessoas ruins, né?
é,
E essas
pois
pessoas
é,
ruins não podem te definir como pessoa. Tipo, com
isso,
certeza. É
isso.
perfeito o que você falou. Mas, cara, a gente pode falar rapidinho aqui em francês aí, pra gente também. Né? É tipo, é legal a gente usar os idiomas que a gente tem em comum. A gente fez um pouco disso na primeira
Aham,
na parte um, mas você perguntou pra mim e agora eu quero perguntar pra você.
vas-y.
Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le plus sur la langue française?
Oh là là. Euh, honnêtement, la langue française, c'est cool un peu, tu vois, comme j'aime bien euh, comme ils sont. J'aime bien comme ils sont, tu vois, comme l'accent des gens, tu vois, surtout comme ils parlent en Paris, il y a plein de choses qui m'attirent de cette langue, pardon.
Tu kiffes les
Ouais, ouais,
Français?
je kiffe, ouais, ouais, je kiffe, hein. Ouais, et, ouais, il y a 3 ans que je prends les français et toujours là-bas, il y a quelque chose que je sens que j'ai appris, tu vois, comme, ah ouais, j'ai jamais entendu cet argot, cette façon de dire une phrase, tu vois. Mais ouais, j'aime bien les langues, j'aime bien, parce que ouais, toujours, c'est une langue, c'est les premières langues que j'ai appris. Alors, il y aura toujours une place dans mon cœur. Et ben ouais, je l'adore, hein, je l'adore. Ça m'a donné beaucoup d'opportunités pour faire des choses que j'aime bien, comme continuer à jouer le football américain ou voyager. Oui, l'un de mes meilleurs amis, elle est française, tu vois. Et ça,
Hmm,
c'est un truc c'est un truc dingue, là. Parce que j'ai jamais pensé d'être ami avec les gens qui habitent d'autres pays, tu vois.
hmm,
Comme ils font les phrases parfois, tu vois, les façons qu'on construit une phrase, euh, ça a l'air difficile parfois, mais en fait, quand tu penses, c'est un peu joli, tu vois. J'adore les langues, vraiment, c'est difficile, c'est pas du tout facile, mais j'aime bien, j'aime bien, j'ai kiffe, hein.
mec. Tu
Ouais,
parles le français vraiment bien, c'est incroyable ton
voilà.
niveau avec pas beaucoup de temps que tu apprends des langues. Tu as
Mhm.
commencé, tu as dit, il y a 3 années,
Ouais, ouais, 3 ans,
3 ans,
3 ans, ouais.
3 ans.
Aussi,
Ok.
j'avais l'opportunité d'habiter en France, tu vois. Alors, ça m'aidait à
Mais
améliorer.
ça n'est pas ça parce que il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont allés dans la France,
Ouais.
à la France et
Mhm.
ils ont pas, ils parlent pas si bien que toi, mec. Donc
Ah, non,
c'est
merci,
incroyable.
hein,
Tu as
merci, t'es
fait
trop
le
gentil, hein.
travail nécessaire. Tu as fait tout ce que c'est nécessaire
Ouais,
pour apprendre pour bien apprendre la langue.
ouais, merci, bro. Honnêtement, c'était du boulot, hein. Ça prend du travail. Même quand j'étais là-bas, c'était un truc conscient que j'avais, que je me suis dit, bah, faut que je continue à apprendre, tu vois. Toujours quand je retournais chez moi et je dis comme, ah ouais, il y avait quelque chose que j'ai pas compris, faut que je révise, faut que j'améliore mon niveau, tu vois. Et ouais, ça, c'est l'apprentissage, c'est un truc d'ouf là. Ça va jamais arrêter. Tu dois toujours apprendre, même si tu es dans le pays, même si tu penses que tu parles si bien, mais si bien, c'est jamais si bien, tu vois, parce que il y a toujours des mots que je comprends pas, il y a des phrases que j'ai fait des erreurs encore. Ouais, bah, et je suis en université. Alors, mon niveau, c'est pas du tout les mêmes niveaux que les Français qui sont là-bas, tu vois. Alors, je suis un peu j'ai un peu des désavantages avec contre eux, mais c'est un truc que j'aime bien, tu vois. C'est pas compétition, mais c'est une compétition entre moi-même, tu vois. Je veux améliorer. Je veux améliorer mon niveau. Je veux parler avec tout le monde. C'est un défi que j'ai avec moi-même.
Tengo que decir que sí, felicidades y
Mhm,
tú dijiste bien que para hablar bien la lengua hay que
mhm.
trabajar, hay
C'est
que enfocar en mejorarse siempre y no compararse, como dijiste, a los otros,
ajá,
¿no?
exactamente, exactamente.
Así es, así es. Y bueno, el español, has empezado a aprender el español antes del Swahili, ¿no?
Sí, sí, sí,
Así
sí.
que, ¿cuántos años?
Mismo antes de portugués, mismo antes de
Ah, sí,
portugués,
sí,
sí.
verdad.
Casi diría el mismo tiempo, como en enero, perdón,
Ujú.
¿cómo se dice? Yo comencé,
¿Empecés?
empecé de aprender español y en abril de este mismo año yo empecé a conocer portugués, pero para mí español es un poco difícil. No, no es difícil, pero la manera que tenemos que conjugar los verbos y no sé, yo no pienso que yo tengo esa conexión con este idioma que yo tengo con otros idiomas, ¿sabes?
Ujú,
Pero
entiendo
también me
perfectamente.
gusta, pero también me gusta tanto este idioma.
Yo estoy de acuerdo contigo cuando dices
Mm,
que hay unos idiomas que tenemos más conexión que
sí,
otros. Y
sí.
esto es normal, no es algo malo, creo que es
Ujú,
normal. Mucha gente, y es bueno que seas honesto también con tú mismo para que, bueno, los idiomas que a nosotros nos gusta más,
ujú,
nosotros vamos a pasar más tiempo y estar mejor en este
exacto.
idioma y esto es
Eh,
normal. Volver ao português. O que vem na sua cabeça, ou quando você escuta, ou quando você vê, farofa?
farofa. Gostoso, eu amo, sabe? Tipo, come,
Futebol. Futebol com os
futebol.
pés. Futebol do Brasil.
De Brasil, tá. Não, é futebol real, né? Sei lá, o Bonei, sabe? Eu gosto muito do Neymar, ele é meu jogador favorito. Eu gosto
Pô,
muito
cara, o
dele.
meu também.
É,
Meu também. Cara, você tá só dando as respostas certas aqui.
tamo junto, mano.
Cara, brigadeiro, brigadeiro.
Briga bem doce, sabe? Tipo, dou a cabeça. Mas eu gosto, sabe? Eu consigo, tipo, comer um pouquinho, mas é muito bom também.
Pô, cara, eu também gosto muito. Brigadeiro. Mas
Ah,
realmente, se comer muito, brigadeiro faz até mal. Chinelo, tem até um aqui, ó. Seria sobre isso aqui, ó. Havaiana.
chinelo. Cara, olha, tipo, brasileiro usando chinelo, tipo, qualquer lugar. Então, eu tenho uma história pra quem, sabe? Rapidinho. Mas eu tava no
Manda.
restaurante e eu tava usando, tipo, os sapatos, né? Normal, sabe? Que você usa quando você ir pra casamento, tudo mais. Então, ele tava falando, tipo, por que você tá usando isso, sabe? Por que você não usa, tipo, chinelo? Eu, tipo, chinelo? A gente tá indo no restaurante, pô. Mas era muito engraçado. Mas, eles são muito legais, eles são confortáveis.
Cara, Copacabana.
Copacabana, é maravilhosa, sabe? Eu amo as praias aí, quase toda manhã eu tava aí, só, tipo, ficando tranquilo na praia, sabe? E realmente eu vi, porque tantas músicas sobre esse lugar, sabe? É maravilhoso.
Uhum, realmente, cara. Eu também gosto muito de Copacabana.
É,
É, arroz e feijão.
arroz e feijão, sabe? Tipo, cara, e eu comi isso todo dia, sabe? Todo dia no
Virou
Brasil, sabe?
brasileiro, cara.
Cara, é muito bom, sabe? Muito bom. Cada vez que você pergunta ao brasileiro o que você tá cozinhando, comendo, ele fala, tipo, arroz e feijão,
Arroz e
sabe?
feijão,
Mas é
sempre. Só
muito bom.
muda a carne. Só muda a
É,
carne, muda a
exato.
salada, talvez.
É,
Mas arroz e feijão.
é isso, isso.
Tem gente que faz até mais, que bota feijão no estrogonofe. Até prato que nem leva feijão, a pessoa
Uhum.
bota feijão.
Tá. Ei,
Pão de queijo, pão de queijo.
pão de queijo. Olha, eu comi no Brasil, acho que eu comi no Rio de Janeiro. É
Aham.
muito bom, mas eu já ouvi falar que na Minas Gerais é melhor.
É
É
melhor, né?
certo?
Cara, eu nunca provei. Deve ser.
Ah,
Com certeza, que lá é o lugar do
ah,
queijo.
porque
Lá é o
eu
lugar do
gostei
queijo.
muito no Rio, sabe? Então, se é melhor
É.
na Minas, oxe,
Cara,
tipo,
é melhor, é melhor. E, rodízio de churrasco. Rodízio de
rodízio,
carne.
tipo na coisa no pão.
É,
É
que
muito
você
bom.
vai, você senta na mesa.
Tipo, é muito bom, sabe? É muito bom, sabe? A gente tem nos Estados Unidos, mas nem é parecido, sabe? Tipo, você está fora nessa
Que é
comida.
isso, cara, já foi tudo.
Ah,
Foi tão
tá.
rápido aqui, passou rápido o tempo.
Passou.
É, cara, muito legal, satisfação enorme poder ter
Uhum.
falado com você aqui nesse vídeo, cara. Any words you want to say to the audience before we
Well,
end?
yeah, definitely. Well, first off, appreciate you for having me, bro. It's definitely always a pleasure to speak with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you off camera, but you one of my inspirations in the language community. You know, when I first started learning, I only really spoke one language, and ever since then, I've just like seen your tips that you always give people, and I use them for myself and whatnot. And what I'm saying, you see what it does for you. You know what I'm saying? So, pretty much, I want to tell everybody, Americans, Brazilians, whoever that's learning languages, stick with it. Stick with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's gonna come easy, but that's part of the process. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So definitely enjoy the process and what I'm saying, keep learning, keep learning. We definitely languages definitely do open doors. It's not something that costs a lot to do. You're on your phone all day. Why not learn a language? Why not do this and do that? You know what I'm saying? So just definitely enjoy the process if you're doing it. If you're learning a language and it's difficult, enjoy that process because one day it will be a lot better for you.
Bro, just keep it up. We are living proof that you can do it. Like if you want to
Yeah.
learn languages, like anyone can just like really do what D'Angelo did and do what I did too, and
Hmm.
really like use, like he said, like use your phone, use the advantage that you have now, like
Hmm.
technology, internet,
Definitely.
and use that to your advantage, man. Like
Back
just
in the
having
day, they had to
fun.
go get a book. You know what I'm saying? They ain't have books, so you got it all. You know what I'm saying? You got it all right here. So
Bro.
definitely use that.
Well, thank you so much once again, D'Angelo, for talking to me, everyone for watching.
I
And
appreciate it,
yeah,
bro.
let's do this again sometime, man.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Next time we'll probably do a video when I get to Brazil. All right.
Awesome, bro. Awesome.
All right. I see you.
Ok.
É,
Tá marcado então, mano. Valeu. Até a
valeu. Tamo
próxima.
junto.
Valeu.
Abraço.